Goliath, a giant warrior from the city of Gath, known for his immense size and strength. Towering over 9 feet tall, wearing heavy bronze armor and wielding a spear whose shaft is like a weaver's rod, his presence on the battlefield is both menacing and demoralizing. His armor weighs more than the average man could lift, his spear's tip alone is heavier than a small shield, and his helmet shields his head like a fortress. This gear does not just protect him, it makes him an ironclad behemoth, seemingly invincible on the battlefield. Goliath is more than just a formidable opponent, he embodies the overwhelming force and terror that can paralyze even the mightiest armies. Goliath is not just a physical giant but a symbol of the Philistines' military might, and their challenge to the Israelites. Every day, for 40 days, Goliath strides confidently to the front lines, issuing a bold challenge to the Israelites to send a champion to face him in single combat, a spectacle meant to resolve the conflict without further bloodshed. This challenge wasn't just a call for a physical fight, it was a psychological tactic designed to intimidate and demoralize the Israelite soldiers. Goliath's massive stature, combined with his disdainful taunts, made him a fearsome figure. Every word from Goliath is a psychological arrow aimed at the heart of the Israelites' courage, mocking their capabilities and the power of their God. His defiance is a weapon, his voice a tool of warfare as effective as any blade. His daily provocations left the Israelite army paralyzed with fear. On the other hand, David, the youngest son of Jesse of Bethlehem, is initially not even a part of the army. His days are spent tending sheep, a job that, unbeknownst to many, has prepared him for the confrontation with Goliath. David's life as a shepherd involves constant vigilance and bravery, protecting his flock from lions and bears. These experiences imbue him with a profound trust in God's protection, which he sees as transferable from the pastures to the battlefield. David's visit to the battleground is motivated by familial duty, to bring food to his older brothers and to check on their well-being. However, upon witnessing the fear instilled by Goliath's challenges and hearing the giant's blasphemies, David's focus shifts. Surprised by the lack of response from King Saul's army, he begins asking soldiers about the situation. He asks, "What shall be done for the man who kills this Philistine and takes away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine, that he should defy the armies of the living God?" His inquiries and expressions of willingness to fight Goliath catch the attention of those around him, eventually reaching the ears of King Saul. King Saul, desperate for a solution, summons David. David's words and courage reach King Saul, who summons him. David says to Saul, "Let no man's heart fail because of him. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine." Skeptical, Saul replies, "You are not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for you are but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth." Despite his reservations about David's youth and inexperience, Saul is moved by David's confidence and his recounting of his protective exploits as a shepherd. Convinced, Saul blesses David, "Go, and the Lord be with you." Saul tries to equip David with his own royal armor, but David finds it cumbersome and unfamiliar. Choosing instead to rely on what he knows best, David picks up his sling and selects 5 smooth stones from a brook. Armed with his sling and stones, David approaches Goliath. Goliath looks at David with disdain and mocks, "Am I a dog, that you come to me with sticks?" and curses David by his gods. He threatens, "Come to me, and I will give your flesh to the birds of the air and to the beasts of the field." David's reply encapsulates his faith and the spirit of his challenge. "You come to me with a sword and with a spear and with a javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and I will strike you down and cut off your head. And I will give the dead bodies of the host of the Philistines this day to the birds of the air and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel, and that all this assembly may know that the Lord saves not with sword and spear. For the battle is the Lord's, and he will give you into our hand." As Goliath moves to engage, David quickly slings one of his stones. It flies with precision, striking Goliath on the forehead, the one part of the giant not covered by armor. The stone sinks into his skull, and Goliath falls face down to the ground. David then runs to the giant, takes hold of Goliath's sword, and uses it to behead him. This act not only confirms the giant's death but also symbolizes David's victory over the might of the Philistines through divine support. Goliath's defeat causes the Philistines to flee in panic, with the emboldened Israelites in hot pursuit, leading to a significant victory for Israel. The story resonates deeply as an illustration of how faith, coupled with courage, can enable one to overcome seemingly insurmountable challenges. It underscores the biblical theme that God's power and purposes are often manifested through unexpected and humble means, through a young shepherd, rather than a seasoned warrior.